Hello and welcome to the Gamescast. Welcome to my Spain 2014 league race. I've been thinking about doing league highlights for quite a while on my personal channel. Of course, Ryan does the ones I edit, or I edit the race at least. Anyway, without any further ado, it is coming to the channel, and we're starting off in Spain, round 5. We're against Jack first. We get an absolutely phenomenal start on the pad, of course. And we simply fly past Jack. Anyway, turning into the first corner, taking a relatively defensive line. I don't want him to be able to get past me. Unfortunately, he looks like he's a bit too eager and throttle, and he simply just spins out. Yeah, that's what I can say really. He just spins out. Anyway, we have now got Thomas Irish HD, who is a super fast driver. He is very fast in AOR this season. And he's just behind us with Fat First, of course, Jack First's teammate, also right behind. As we unfortunately lose connection to Ryan, that is very unfortunate. If, like then, you just hear the game volume go down suddenly, it will be because TeamSpeak is someone is talking in TeamSpeak, and ideally there can be fruity language, and I don't really want you guys to be able to hear people in TeamSpeak, because you know that's just how I do the editing anyway. Thomas is just behind us. He's really not far behind us at all. Only 8/10 I think the gap was. We'll have to have a look as we cross the line. Okay, completing lap 1 in first place, of course. In a 1:29.1, and we are just, and Thomas is just 0.6 behind us, and it looks like he's actually closed down the gap even more. You'll notice I actually take quite a lot of curb on that first corner, and it is by no means cutting it. I know every driver does that, and it has not been seen to cut because, of course, all four wheels are on the track. So yeah, it is not classed as a cut in any way, but you'll notice I did take quite a lot of curb, and that really does help you to turn into the corner, as well as this one is really difficult not to cut. Let's see if I cut it. I do slightly there, but yes, it is very easy to cut corners on this track, and again that corner is very easy to cut. I don't there though, so it was something I was taking very special attention to, especially in qualifying. There's nothing worse than getting a lap in qualifying which is full of corner cuts. I'm sure every driver at least once or twice in this race did do a corner cut. In fact, I know drivers did do corner cuts, of course not on purpose, but it is very difficult on this track, especially if the game's not punishing you, I find. So yeah, you do have to keep a bit of an attention. I'm going to show you, I think it's the first 4 laps, so this is the last lap you will see, or full lap you'll see of me, and you see Kluitsky gets the fastest lap with a 1:24.1, which is very fast for you know, this first stint. Actually, I think my PB for this first stint, or for the first 3-4 laps of the first stint, was something like a 1:23.9. That was in practice with Ryan and Marco earlier on in the week, or maybe Ryan set that time, I can't quite remember, but anyway, it doesn't matter. That is the time we were looking for at the start. You can see Fat First actually overtaken Thomas and Kluitsky, and it looks like Thomas actually had a bit of an issue there, unfortunately for him. And Thomas actually saying in TeamSpeak apparently he did get hit by Kluitsky, but I don't think that happened on this. It's a side pod actually, so very unfortunate to see. You can see I am purple. Coming towards the end. Also, so easy to cut these two corners. I do quite a good job of not cutting them, as you can see. I do a very good job of not cutting them, going as wide as possibly possible. So yeah, and a 24.1, that's virtually on par with Kluitsky's time. And you can see now, skipping to lap 5, we get a purple sector. So are we going to be setting the fastest lap though? nicely taken the last chicane. Hopefully we should be purple. And coming across the line with a 1:23.6, which does beat my PB on tyres which are quite old. Well, I say old, we're only on lap 6. Your tyres can really get to, realistically, you can get them to lap 12 with not too many issues. You will start to notice quite a major pace drop off. You can see just flicking through, and again we're going purple only by an extra 1/10. But again, that is purple. We see a gap to Jack first of 3.5 seconds. Coming into this race, I honestly wasn't confident. Now I've just skipped here because we will see Jack first coming into the pits. So he is now 10 plus seconds behind us. There you go, 10 seconds. So like I was saying, I wasn't actually that confident coming into this race. I had done a lot of practice for this track. I wasn't comfortable round the track though. I just never really got the pace. I knew my race pace was half decent though. My qualifying, I was very lucky. I got a PB in qualifying, and it was a bit of a fluke if I'm honest, because it was a good lap. You can start to see I am struggling ever so slightly, but not enough to... you can see my tyres pretty red, and you can also see the front left tyre is absolutely dead, getting a lot of understeer, as you can see, going into that corner. Now I've left this bit in, so you can see the map from Marco drop. I think it was 13 seconds, it's now 12.6, he's taken off half a second. Going on this corner, not cutting it at all on exit, very cleanly done, which is good to see even on these old tyres. Thomas is an extra 12 seconds behind Marco. Hopefully we can get another fantastic Mercedes result. I'm not actually going to tell you the result because the highlights for China will not be released yet. It's actually very easy to cut that corner. I don't think I quite cut it, but it is a very marginal. And you can see my tyres, my front left and my rear right are really poor. And 12.2 you can see is taking out 8/10 as we cut the first chicane ever so slightly, almost drifting into it's going quite slowly, not wanting to make a silly mistake going down into lean. I should check the standings now, see who has pitted, etc. And I don't actually check the standings. Oh yeah, I do. And you can just see quickly there who has pitted, and Marco's the only one who hasn't pitted, and he is on primes, I believe. I didn't actually take a good look at that. Anyway, skipping now to lap 22. So much later on in the race. The gap to Fat First is 7.1 now. I want you guys to take a close look at that gap. Remember that gap now. This is where Fat First comes into the pit. So he is now in the pit. And again, he is 10 plus seconds behind us. Almost exactly the same, actually, in fact. So the gap between me and Fat have stayed identical from this point to the next point. I had the advantage of being on fresh tyres. I know you can see the gap between me and Marco is 25 seconds. He did run into quite a few issues though. So yeah, I know Marco unfortunately ran into a few issues. Anyway, again, seeing the last corner, it's telling us to come into pits. We are going to come into the pits. Now, how many extra laps did I do from Fat? Trying to remember now. I did 3 or 4. So, is that going to really affect us in the long run? Well, I'm not sure. You can see we're having a proper look now. I'm the only one who hasn't pitted twice. Marco has pitted twice, and he's on the options. He actually told me it was a mistake to start on primes. He shouldn't have done it, but he was unlucky. Kluitsky is now in second, however he was, however Fat First did overtake him. It's now only 3.9 seconds, he's taken out 3 seconds to us just by staying out those extra 4 laps, and he's going very fast. 21.9 is unbelievable. Especially in the race, that is very fast. I'd be surprised if someone else does beat that. And saying that, Jack First does beat it with a 21.8, again, very fast. That is sort of qualifying time, a little bit off qualifying time. 21.8, what a good qualifying time. And you see there my teammate Marco getting a phenomenal time. He is actually on the fresh option tyres and he is going extremely fast. He's basically 5 laps towards the end. He is basically on a qualifying run without DRS, and I know Marco, he was very fast round here. His PB showed his pace, and he is a very fast driver, especially around this track. He said he loves this track. He was very unlucky. Gap between me and that hasn't changed dramatically, and as I cut that chicane a little bit, is not brilliant. However, I do not cut that much. I got a couple of warnings actually coming up, the hairpin. I don't know what turn it is, but I do get a couple of warnings coming up to the hairpin, because it's so easy to cut that corner, even if it's not really a cut. They can sometimes penalise you, and you're just basically seeing my times and the gap to Fat First, which I really wanted to get in. As you can now see, the gap is 8.1 seconds. I've just increased that gap. I'm actually going to show you the full last lap of the race, and just having a look at Fat as he crosses the line now. It's 8.7, so I'm opened up 8 tenths in that lap, which is unbelievable. Fat First is an extremely fast driver, so is his brother Jack. They're both 2 of the fastest drivers in AOR. They have been very unlucky. They've been bombarded with bad luck, or at least Jack has. Fat's been consistently second, but he has been consistent. He also did get a win. I'm not going to tell you where. There's actually no. He got a win in Bahrain actually. So yeah, he did do very well at Bahrain. He finished just 0.8 behind me, and he got a win because I ended up corner cutting. I just was not thinking of the corners and the track limits, and I ended up corner cutting and get a penalty. Coming around the last corner, my tyres are actually in pretty good condition. Front left could be better. Not sure if my tyre graph comes up or not. And well, this is just a very slow lap. I slow down so much at the start. Corner cutting makes nothing of it, and look at that, just winning the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's technically my secondary home Grand Prix. As we go down the results, we see I finished in first. Jack Fat First actually closes the gap to 8.2, so really it stays about the same. Klutsky 19 seconds, Marco 20 seconds, very close between Klutsky and Marco. Jack first in 5th. He was quite good actually from his very poor start. He basically ended up crashing, and as the end of that. And well, the best of results are all fairly close. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.